will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday morning. I hope that it is a good one for you. I see it's 90 degrees out in Massachusetts somewhere. Well, I hope that you have some good ice cream or something good to cool you down. Thank you so much for joining me on Story Time. I am excited as always to be here with you. What a week we've had. Amazing stories. Thank you, Ari, for coming through. But we also have another guest coming through today. Vicky Chen will be joining us very shortly. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. I am excited for the events that are coming up on Storytime, and also the event that is coming up at Fairyland, in which we'll be getting more information very shortly. We've talked about it, we've been excited about it, and the excitement just keeps getting higher and higher, and it's almost here. Tomorrow it's happening. So if you're in the Bay, you know where to be tomorrow, June 3rd, Saturday. Come to Fairyland. And of course, if you're not in the area, you have friends around here, let them know what's happening. Let them know to join us. Thank you for being here and absolutely appreciate you. Just a quick run through. We've had amazing stories this week. Of course, we kicked off with Sora's Seashells, a beautiful story indeed. And then we read Sari Sari Summers. And then, of course, Ari and the Cat's Adventure was here yesterday. And then we will be reading after, of course, we have our conversation with Vicky Chan today. Then we'll be going into Love in the Library. Yes, lots to look forward to. Excited about that one. And of course, our guest Vicky Chan will be here with us and everything, talking to us everything Children's Fairyland Children's Book Festival. Yes, that is coming up. That is happening tomorrow. So get ready for that one. And then, of course, on June 15th, we do have Amanda Davis and Michelle Jing Chan, who will be here talking about their brand new book, Moonlight Memories. So mark your calendars, join us. You know what's happening. Thank you for being here with us. And then really quickly too, let us see who is with us here this morning. Thank you for joining in. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Owen and Miles, thank you for joining us out there in Massachusetts. 90 degrees today. Oh my goodness. Please take care of yourselves. Remember, to put on sunscreen. Remember to carry your water bottles. Remember to carry your hat with you. And of course, just remember to check in, remind your neighbor what needs to be done. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. It's so crazy to think of how you've moved from, the cold, the snow out there in Massachusetts to today talking 90 degrees. I hope you have a lovely day still. Thank you so much for joining in. Jen Vetter, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you on a live after a long time. You know the love is here for you. Thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate you, Jen Vetter. Miss you so much and cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. And of course, my love, to the family as well. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Good morning to you, Angela. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? Excited to be at Fairyland tomorrow. Cannot wait to all be together. And of course, all the amazing people that will be coming through. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. Good morning to you, Tara, McNamara, Clara, and Erin out in the hot Massachusetts as well. Thank you so much for being here on Story Time. And you say we're getting a thunder and lightning storm later. Oh my goodness, everything is happening out there in Massachusetts today. Well, you know what? There's something happening at Fairyland as well. We have something happening out here in Oakland too. So please join me in welcoming to Storytime the amazing Vicky Chan. Good
Good
morning.
morning. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
Great. What
Yeah.
a nice way to wake up to the day and be here with story time and all the friends.
Oh, that is lovely. Yes, no, I thank you. Thank you for coming here so early in the morning. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So are you a morning person?
Yes.
So not much change today being here, just change of a little bit change of routine.
Yes, just a little bit of a change.
Thank you. Well, Vicky, like we brought you here. We know you've been doing, well, I know you've been doing a lot of just planning, getting ready for this. There's been lots of email exchanges. And so please tell us what's happening. What's this event that will be happening at Fairyland tomorrow?
Yeah, so let me tell our friends about Fairyland. Also, my role at Fairyland is the Senior Director of Education and Community Engagement. And Fairyland actually opened in 1950. We are located in Oakland. We're a story theme park right by Lake Merritt. And we're turning 73 in September. So
Wow.
some say that Walt Disney got his inspiration from Fairyland.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and our mission is to spark imagination and a desire to learn by bringing stories to life through immersive experiences. We have lush gardens and gentle rides for little children and story sets. So it's a very whimsical place for children to immerse in imaginative play.
Yeah, no, and if you've not been to Fairyland, please do go. And for those of us that have been, I mean, sometimes I feel like as an adult it's so hard because I can't go, without kids. But so every now and then when there's events like this, like I want to show up, and I've come to on field trips. I know you do field trips with schools.
Yes.
How is that, or what do schools need to do to be able to enjoy Fairyland?
Yeah, so schools can book online, and we do ask for early reservation of up to 3 weeks in advance. So teachers will have to plan ahead. But when children come, it's half price admission. We also offer scholarship for schools that can't afford the admission,
Yeah.
and we charter buses to pick up many Oakland Unified schools that
Mhm.
face barriers in coming to Fairyland.
Yeah, and I can speak definitely. I brought my class on that scholarship, and I think too. Even there was a time I think it might have been right at the start of the pandemic. We couldn't come in. Oh no, well, we got rained out, so we couldn't come in. But Fairyland still sent us tickets and to distribute to the kids so they could come in another time with their families. And I just thought that was really special.
Absolutely. It's such a bummer that they can't come when that happens. And so being able to offer that access is very important.
Yeah. So what should we look forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, so let me tell you more about the book festival.
Yeah.
It's an event that celebrates Bay Area children's authors and illustrators in one place. And this is our sixth festival, so sixth anniversary.
Yeah.
The festival is actually created by two librarian staff, Angela Moffat, who is here.
Yes, Angela, you should have been here with us too.
And our education director at the time, and a local bookstore that wanted to do this. So, and as you know, Bay Area is just full of talent and creative minds. So it's not that hard to fill the slots with 30 and more authors. Jennifer Vetter has been our participant for many times and will be returning this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so more about the book festival is it's a great way for visitors, especially children who come to Fairyland, to get up and close and personal to meet the book creators.
right.
Each of the creators will have a table, and it gives the kids a great chance to talk to them, ask questions, get to know their creative process, to inspire them. So maybe one day they'll be in their place, sitting at the table and signing books for authors for little children.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you say signing for little children. No, they'll be signing for
signing for adults and children, right? Yes, I also collect many children's books and want to get them signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then more reasons. So we will have presentations by 5 local authors, and to name a few, the 12:15 presentation will be with Christian Robinson, who wrote Last Stop on Market Street, Milo Imagines the
Good.
World, just to name a few of his books. Mac Barnett wrote Kids By. Also, Sean Harris will be there.
Yeah.
Sean will have You Ever Seen a Flower? And
All right.
yeah, his other, known books are What
Yeah.
It
First
Is
cut
to
in
Do,
space, which they've done together.
right? Yeah, so all 3 of them will be presenting together. Mac and Chris just launched a new book called 20 Questions. And then Sean and Mac wrote The First Cat in Space, Ate Pizza, and a polar
Yeah.
in the snow. So all 3 of them will be collaborating and talking, and of course, facilitated by Mr. Lamada.
What? I'm so excited. And then we do have Angela Dalton too coming through as well.
Yes, Angela Dalton will be back, who was featured in your previous story time. Janae Brown Woods and Nidhi Chinati will all be there.
Yeah. No, such a powerful lineup. And why has this carried on sixth year, you say? What makes it special? We have all these amazing people coming through, but what else is extra with this program?
Yeah, so we will be working with Books on Beat, a local bookstore in Hayward. And it's a great way for families to stock up on your summer reading, right? Reading is so important. And what's better is to get them autographed by the book creators. So it's just a great way to support the authors, the illustrators, support the bookstore, and help your children with their summer reading. More to know about the book festival, we will have youth writers presenting. So they are young writers that aspire to be future authors. They were in our Fairyland program for 12 weeks. And during that time, they worked with Leticia Hernandez Linares.
Yes, I love Leticia. I love,
and so they wrote their little story, turned it in, and we combined it into an anthology. So the anthology will be available for sale, and the young authors will also be there. Each of them will come on stage to read their excerpts. So get to know their work. Other partners, our community partners, the Oakland Public Library will be there with sound instruments, the little petting zoo of instruments. And then Mocha, our downtown friend, Mocha, that's been offering open studios, will be there with a bookmaking station. So both organizations will be there from 11 to 2 with more activities to do.
Oh my goodness. Yes, no, that is the place to be for sure tomorrow. And then too, I know that, just from being there before and knowing that part of town, we have Lake Merritt right next to you, kind of almost wrapping around Fairyland in a sense. So beautiful, but just thinking too, like, what are some logistics that people should think about? Parking. Should I ride public transit? Should I drive there? Should I ride my bike? Like, what can people do? What do you advise on that?
Yes, that's a very good question. So parking will be very busy. So families can park on Bellevue, and around Fairyland, there are also metered or free street parking. And so if you're parking on Bellevue, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to park and walk. It's within walking distance of 5 minutes if you park on the other end of Bellevue. And yes, public transportation is highly, highly recommended, or getting dropped off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So, and then too, are there any things people should think about, say, in terms of, just like health protocols that will be in place. So, child safety, because we know we have a lot of children there, but also it's a public event. So is there like what procedures will be in place?
Yeah, so families are welcome to bring their own lunch. We do have a cafe that is the food will be available, and our partner is Bean Sprouts, but families are definitely welcome to bring their own food. You mentioned perhaps losing your children, losing your adults. That does happen every day at Fairyland, but our staff is equipped to help families reunite really quickly. So in case you come and that does happen, find a staff who can help you. And usually it takes a couple minutes to find the lost adult or children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there any tips from like years past, or times in the past, that tricks that parents, that caregivers, adults have used in order to keep track of each other with family?
Yeah, just make sure your kiddo's with you, right? If you go too far, I can't see you, then it'll be hard to find you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember too when we were growing up and would be going to those that been to Lusaka, we have the agriculture and commercial show, and it is huge. Yeah, like sometimes like you just be like, make sure you remember what we're wearing, make sure you remember the phone number home, and this, just so we would be ready for anything that was should any eventuality happening. So also, one of the things that Fairyland does, I mean, you mentioned that you provide, and I have experienced it with my own classroom and my own class. And Jen Betta, like just mentioned there, we did come out on a field trip. We got those free tickets for families to come to Fairyland. How does Fairyland do this? And how does someone like me, or someone listening out there, how do we support Fairyland?
Yeah, so support Fairyland by coming to Fairyland. We also, yes, we do need the support of the entire community, and any gift you are able to give us, small, large gifts, what you're able to. And I want to share that Fairyland introduced a new access program for visitors who couldn't otherwise afford the full admission. Our admission is $16 per person, and no child admitted without an adult, and no adult admitted without a child for safety reasons.
Right.
But this access program is called Fairyland for All, and families, caregivers can present an EBT card and a few other forms of qualification cards to pay $5 per person. And on your second visit, so we will give you a rewards card, and on the second visit, you can turn that in for a free membership and return for the entire year, unlimited. So please see our website about Fairyland for All.
Yeah, please too. And before you go, I'll just say, if you can just type out in the comments on your screen, you can just put in that website where people can go, and then we'll share it here so people can still click on that. But then later on too, on the Storytime platforms, we'll make sure to put that information out. But yeah, so we have all the amazing people coming through, all the kids that are coming through and participating in this great program with Fairyland. How do kids sign up
to become future writers?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. We will introduce the 2024 Youth Writers Workshop program in November. So there will be registration for kiddos that are 8 to 12 years of age to sign up, and it's a free program. So we hope to bring that in person. We worked on the online hybrid version. They met Leticia online and were able to come to the park, use Fairyland as our inspirational place to write their story. So next year, we hope everyone can be in person.
Yeah, and Leticia did write Alejandria Fights Back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just we've had that one on Storytime here, and we've communicated for sure. So just for those of you that are wondering, trying to remember who Leticia Linares Hernandez is, they did write Alejandria Fights Back, a powerful book, and then just talking about so many like the housing crisis that places like a Bay Area are facing, yeah, definitely advocating for better policy on that, and advocating for families for sure. So appreciate that, and we appreciate that people like that can impart their knowledge and work with our young people in the community. So love that. Talking of which, too, I know you said no kid without an adult, no adult without a kid. How about adults like me who don't have kids and want to come to Fairyland? Is Fairyland in the near future planning to do anything, say like the Exploratorium does on like Thursday nights or something? Like, is there anything in the works like that? Or is there a program like that?
Absolutely. So yes, there will be a chance for adults to visit the book festival. If you're a teacher, I understand that teachers want to collect books for their classroom. So show a teacher's ID or business card, and you can come in without a child with admission. And what's more fun is that we have grown-up events. So our annual Oaklandish, which in partnership with Oaklandish, come and have drinks, adult drinks, DJ, and then food trucks. So it's a very fun party, and we've been producing more and more adult events. You know, in April we had Mad Hatter. So if you like dressing up costumes, it's a great place to be. So check out our website for more grown-up events.
Awesome. Well, Vicky, thank you so much. And is there anything else that you'd like to add? Just a few reminders or anything, you know, in general about Fairyland that people should know, or, you know, that we would want to share here that I haven't touched on yet?
Yeah, I want to say that for all of these amazing reasons, the people, the book creator, the educators, and you, children and families and caregivers who enjoy children's books, and the power of stories is what really makes the Oakland community thrive, and what makes Fairyland such a special place, and what makes the book festival so unique and exciting. So I really hope to see you at the book festival, and if not, see you in the summer. We are going to be open 7 days a week, so come and visit us.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, Vicky, thank you for coming here this morning to tell us a little bit more about Fairyland, and of course to just highlight this beautiful event that will be happening. It's the Children's Fairyland Children's Book Festival, and you heard there lots of great creators coming out. Jen Betta, who's here with us this morning, come and meet Angela Moffett, come and meet Vicky Chen herself, come and meet Mark Barnett, Christian Robinson, Angela Dalton, so many more. So come on out and have fun with us tomorrow. Come on out and just enjoy. I hope that you have some time to come out and just be here with us. And I know that the event will be going on pretty much the whole day. So I hope that there's a sliver of time tomorrow that you can come in and be with us. And of course, too, I think while you're there in person, it is also a great opportunity to then ask about some of those programs that would be happening, maybe pick up a flyer or two. Thank you so much, Vicky, for being here with us. And looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And looking forward to seeing everything that will be happening tomorrow.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And we'll definitely see you soon. Definitely see you tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll be checking in too as the day goes. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was Vicky Chen joining us today. Thank you indeed, Angela and Jen Betta and everybody else who's here too. That was Vicky Chen joining us from Children's Fairyland and highlighting to us what's happening tomorrow, and of course a little more information about Fairyland and what a special place it is. And yes, we heard it too. They do have adult events, so you can always go there, find out what's happening when. Check out the website, which we have up here. Click on it and read a little bit more. But for now, we're going to be getting ready for our story for today, which is another powerful and beautiful book, Love in the Library. This one is written by Maggie Tokuda-Hall and illustrations by Imamura. Yes, we're ready for this one. Go, grab what you need to make this story time even better. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll be getting started with our story very shortly. So get ready, get comfortable, get cozy, and go and grab what you need to make this story time even better. All right, I'll catch you on the other side of this short break when we're back for more story time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I am the author of Moonlight Memories.
Hi, my name is Michelle Jing Chan, and I'm the illustrator for Moonlight Memories.
Moonlight Memories releases on June 13th with Worthy Kids, # book group.
The story follows a young girl named Piper who is dealing with grief after losing her mom. Her dad gifts her a telescope, and she begins to use this to see patterns in the stars, which she transforms into sketches and drawings of memories with her mom. Through the story, Piper learns how to find healing and to process her emotions through the beauty of creativity and the arts.
And the text was inspired by my own personal experience with the loss of my father when I was young. I used art and writing as a tool to help process and heal. And I didn't know it at the time, but it was providing me with comfort and still does to this day, comfort and healing and calm.
For the illustrations, I also drew upon my own experiences with grief and the experience of losing my grandmother. I was really drawn to the whimsical language Amanda uses in the manuscript and how she's able to portray difficult emotions such as grief in such a beautiful and whimsical way.
And we are so excited to be coming to Storytime with Mr. Lamada on June 15th. We can't wait to see you there and talk more about the book. So we will see you then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Welcome back. Thank you indeed, Amanda Davis and of course Michelle Jing Chan. They will be here on June 15th. Mark your calendars. They will be here with their brand new book, Moonlight Memories. And for the longest time, I kept saying Midnight Memories, but it is Moonlight Memories. So here we go, though. Today's story, Love in the Library. And Jen Veda, I am definitely with you on that one. I love this book so much. Yes, it is such a powerful book. And Pamela Courtney, thank you. Yes, this book just deserves all the love right now. And of course, too, just important topics that that have been highlighted by Maggie Tokuda-Hall. And yeah, you know, like, and shame on you, Scholastic, for trying to suppress expression and also just talking about history in all its complexity. You know, like, it's not a perfect world out there, and there's a history in this country that needs to be repaired, or at least that needs to be revisited and really reflect in you know, like in truth. So for Scholastic to try and shut down Maggie Tokuda-Hall and her honest words in this book, which we'll read too at the end. We'll go to the author's note and kind of read a little bit of that. I think that is shameful, and I am glad that Maggie spoke up, and I'm glad that there have been many people that have spoken up as well, that many people that have shown support, yes, for what's right. So here we go with our story for today, Love in the Library, written by Maggie Tokuda-Hall and illustrations by Yas Imamura. Here we go. And of course, we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, CANDLEWICK Press. A big thank you to them indeed for allowing us to share this beautiful book here on Storytime. And yeah, I'm ready for this one. Are you? All right, here we go. Love in the Library. Written by Maggie Tokuda-Hall, illustrated by Yas Imamura, and read with permission of the publishers, CANDLEWICK Press. Tama did not like the desert. She brushed the dust from her eyes as she walked to the library. The barbed wire fences and guard towers cast long shadows over her path. She always did her best not to look at the guards. Tama had taken the job in the library because she liked books. She didn't know how to be a librarian, but that didn't matter. In the camps, people did the jobs that needed doing, and that was that. "Good morning, Tama," a voice boomed. It was George. Like every other day, George was waiting at the door for Tama with the stack of books he had checked out only the day before. "Good morning, George," Tama replied. He waited for her to unlock the library, and then he followed her inside. Tama and George had been in Minidoka for a year already. She should have graduated college the previous summer, but instead, Tama was here. All the Japanese Americans from the West Coast were in prison camps like Minidoka. Elderly people, children, babies. It didn't matter who you were, just what you were. And being Japanese American then was treated like a crime. And though each camp was different, they were all the same, uncomfortable and unjust. So many lives disrupted, right? Tama and George had been in Minidoka for a year already. She should have graduated college the previous summer, but instead, Tama was here. All the Japanese Americans from the West Coast were in prison camps like Minidoka. Elderly people, children, babies. It didn't matter who you were, just what you were. And being Japanese American then was treated like a crime. And although each camp was different, they were all the same, uncomfortable and unjust. In the summer, it was brutally hot. In the winter, it was brutally cold. Rain in the fall and spring left mud around the latrines they all needed to use. Whole families shared single rooms. No one had any privacy. Tama did not know when she would leave Minidoka, if she ever would. But there was nothing to be done about that. So she worked in the library and watched as each day passed her by. Some days, many people would come to the library and borrow something to read. Other days, especially when it snowed, hardly anyone would brave the cold just for a book. But most days were the same. Tama kept her eyes down and tried not to think about the life she used to have. There was a word that described this. Tama knew. Constant. Constant questions. Constant worries. Constant fear. But then there was also George. George and his big smile were constant. Yeah, there was a word that described this. Tama knew. Constant. Constant questions, constant worries, constant fear. But then there was also George. George and his big smile were constant. And the books were constant company, which was nice. Tama loved books. Caught in their pages were words bursting with color and light, love and fairness. Constant. And the books were constant company, which was nice. Tama loved books. Caught in their pages were words bursting with color and light, love and fairness. Pressed between their covers were words that planted seeds in the garden of Tama's mind. How magical that, even in Minidoka, such a small little library could fit so much inside of its four walls. Libraries will always be special, won't they? Tama kept a word for that too, nestled close to her heart. Miraculous, she whispered. What was that? Asked George. His voice was so big it barely fit in the library. Tama blushed. Then she held up her finger to remind him of the ruse. They were in a library after all. George just went on grinning at her. Wow. Tama wanted to smile back. She tried to focus on the things that made her smile. The boys outside, hollering and cheering as they played baseball, the books themselves, and the smell of their pages. But she could not make herself smile. She sighed instead. Yeah. What's wrong? George asked. Nothing. Oh, everything, Tama said. She did not need to tell him what she meant. He knew. Everyone in Minidoka knew. I try not to complain. I know this isn't fair, but I also know there is nothing to be done. I try not to be afraid, but I am just so. But she could not think of a word that was right. She was scared and sad and confused and frustrated and lonely and hopeful. Maybe there was no word that fit. Maybe for the first time in her life, there was no single word she could hold in her heart to help her understand. And that thought was so sad to Tama, so upsetting that she felt the hot prickle of tears behind her eyes. Hey, George said, and for once his voice was small and soft. There's a word for that, you know. There is. Hope bubbled big and bold in Tama's heart. Human, George said. He smiled his big smile, and Tama smiled back. She wiped her eyes. She held the words close to her heart. She held the word close to her heart and felt less alone than she had only a moment before. There is a word for that. Human. You can't possibly be reading all those books you check out, she said. No, he replied. Do you see how long they are? I am only human, you know. So then why come every day? She laughed. But George was not laughing. And then for the first time she saw him, really saw George, and saw what he held close to his heart. It was her, Tama. Aw. They were married, Tama and George, and their first son was born in Minidoka. They hoped for the best. Their love for the family they made was constant, even if the injustice their family was created within was constant too. They were married, Tama and George, and their first son was born in Minidoka. They hoped for the best. Their love for the family they made was constant, even if the injustice their family was created within was constant too. To fall in love is already a gift. But to fall in love in a place like Minidoka, a place built to make people feel like they weren't human, that was miraculous. That was humans doing what humans do best. To fall in love is already a gift. But to fall in love in a place like Minidoka, a place built to make people feel like they weren't human, well, that was miraculous. That was humans doing what humans do best. The miracle is in us, Tama wrote in her journal. As long as we believe in change, in beauty, in hope. That miracle is hard to find sometimes, but it is in all of us. So true, isn't it? The miracle is in us, Tama wrote in her journal. As long as we believe in change, in beauty, in hope. The miracle is hard to find sometimes, but it is in all of us. And that is the end of our story today. Join me on the other side of this short break when we're back, and we will read the author's note and talk a little bit more about the book. Thank you so much for being here with me, friends. Absolutely appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the other side. Thank you for being here with us.
Hi, I'm Georgianne Irvine from the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and I am the author of our newest hope and inspiration book, Teaching Tornero, the true story of a sloth superstar. And I'm going to be reading this book to you on story time with Mr. LaMotta. I'm very, very excited. I think you're going to love getting to know Tornero. He's a very special sloth.
Thank you indeed. Welcome back. Thank you, Georgianne Irvine, and the amazing book that was read here on Storytime last Friday. So please check out our archives to find out more about that one. And of course, help support the San Diego Zoo as much as you can. Thank you so much for joining in. So now we were reading Love in the Library by Maggie Tokuda-Hall and Yas Imamura. Now we're going to read the author's note in this book. And here too is a picture of the real George and Tama Tokuda. All right, here we go. Author's note by Maggie Tokuda-Hall. This is a true story, mostly. George and Tama are my maternal grandparents. They had 5 children, including my mother. They truly did meet in Minidoka, a Japanese incarceration camp in Idaho. Tama was the camp librarian. Their first son, Floyd, was born there, but the dialogue is imagined, save for one line. The miracle is in all of us. Those are Tama's exact words taken from her journal. After the nation of Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which caused citizens of Japanese ancestry on the West Coast to be relocated, and relocated in inverted commas there. This was tidy language used to obfuscate the truth that American citizens were being wrongfully imprisoned for the crime of being Japanese. The 120,000 Japanese Americans who were incarcerated lost their jobs, their homes, their educations, and their possessions. They had to go on short notice to relocation centers and then incarceration camps with only what they could carry. Family heirlooms, cherished belongings, pets, so much was left behind by necessity. They might need food, tools, family heirlooms. They might need food, tools, clothes. They didn't know. They weren't told. And so they left their lives behind. Robbed of their rights and their dignity, the Americans who found themselves in squalor and destitution made the best of their lives that they could in the camps. And that to me is a great wonder of this story, that even under those circumstances, that terrible injustice, Tama and George found love. This is not to say that it was worth it. Their improbable joy does not excuse virulent racism, nor does it minimize the pain, the trauma, and the deaths that resulted from it. But it is to situate it into the deeply American tradition of racism. We'll read that paragraph again. Tama and George found love. This is not to say that it was worth it. The improbable joy does not excuse the virulent racism, nor does it minimize the pain, the trauma, and the deaths that resulted from it. But it is to situate it into the deeply American tradition of racism. As much as I would hope this would be a story of a distant past, it is not. It is very much the story of America here and now. The racism that put my grandparents into Minidoka is the same hate that keeps children in cages on our border. It's the myth of white supremacy that brought slavery to our past and allows the police to murder Black people in our present. It's the same fear that brings Muslim bans. It's the same contempt that creates voter suppression, medical apartheid, and food deserts. The same cruelty that carved reservations out of stolen land, sovereign land that paved the trail of tears. Hate is not a virus, it is an American tradition. And yet, so many of us find improbable joy. Our capacious hearts find the love that our nation has denied us, just as Tama and George did in the face of that hate. Though it is always easier to destroy than it is to build, reminding myself of stories like Tama and George's reminds me to hope, to let my heart seek out the beauty and the peace the marginalized miraculously create for themselves. To let myself imagine a future where that love is not improbable, but easy. To force myself to fight for that future. Because if we can fall in love, if we can find our joy, if we can find that miracle despite all these truths, what else can we do? And those are the beautiful words, powerful words coming from Maggie Tokuda-Hall. And we appreciate you, Maggie. We appreciate your strength. And of course, yes, Imamura as well. And CANDLEWICK Press. You know, many times I've mentioned this too, that, you know, with publishers, there's many works that sometimes we never hear about it that is not put out. But CANDLEWICK did put out this book with this powerful message, and we want to, just commend them for that. And also, may we continue to see such great books being put out. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. This has been Storytime for this week. This has been Storytime for today. Love in the Library. And of course, too, in extension, a big thank you to you, Vicky Chen, for being here today and reminding us of what's happening at Children's Fairyland tomorrow, June 3rd. So come on out and join us. Many amazing authors will be there with us. Many amazing creators will be there with us. So thank you for being here with us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And we hope to see you at Children's Fairyland for the Children's Book Festival. Come on out and have fun with us. This has been Storytime. And remember too that on June 15th, Moonlight Memories comes to Storytime with Amanda Davis and Michelle Jing Chan. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Please keep sending us recommendations. Keep sending us what you would like to see here on Storytime, and we will do our very best to bring it here so you can enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. Please keep strong. Please keep speaking out. Keep turning up. Keep showing up for justice. Keep showing up for what is right. Thank you so much for being here with us. Much love from me to you. I will see you again next week when we're back with more Storytime. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
Storytime with Mr. Lamada. He will soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing good time. Ooh, story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing